Hello, everyone. It is Canadian Futures Trader here. It's currently Saturday, February the 27th. And I thought since I'm close to finishing with the LeeLoo Express, I know several people that were following along should be close to finished also. Early next week, we'll all be done. So I thought I'd just go through. I received this email. I'd kind of looked through the process of getting funded with them before, so I kind of knew this stuff already, but they recently updated it, so I thought it'd be just a good idea to go through it. So just a heads up, LeeLoo isn't as automated as some of the other programs. For example, TopStep, when you pass, it's all very automated. Just the emails come out, you respond, your account gets upgraded, whatever. OneUp, you do have to send them an email, but that's basically it. You just say, hey, I passed, check it out, and they check it out, and it goes from there. LeeLoo, you have to actually submit a little bit of information. It's not difficult, but I just thought I'd run you through it. I mean, you can read the email too, but I don't want anyone to be freaked out by it. So they sent out this email because believe it or not, this is actually an improvement to how it used to be. You used to have to copy and paste your trades from every single day and send them to them. You don't have to do that anymore. So we're not going to read everything, but basically here's the gist. So once you pass, you then have to send a support ticket with this information. So let's just go through it. Your name, obviously your full name, your Rhythmic ID, simple enough, your Rhythmic account number. If you're not aware, if you didn't notice, if you log into Rhythmic, your account, it's basically your login with a dash and then an account number. If you've done several resets, this number basically goes up. So it would go from like 6 to 7 to 8 if you have resets. So make sure you send them the one that you actually passed on. This is what's important. Today is not my 10th day. It says type it. Now, don't just type it and send it to them. It actually has to not be your 10th day. So, for example, I'm on the West Coast. The market closes at 1 p.m. Now, they say, I don't think it says in here, but I believe it says on the site. So basically, they say, it can't be the current trading day and it has to be at least 8 hours past. They really want you to wait till the next day. And I kind of understand that because I don't think they see like updated statistics for people's accounts until several hours later. And for example, like with OneUp and how my stats don't update till overnight, that's part of the same process. It's just they're not receiving the data till the overnight. So you're gonna have to wait till the day after you pass before you send this, so you can get it ready to go. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have it ready to go, and then I'm just gonna fire this off first thing in the morning. So type it's not your 10th day and actually send it the next day. In the body email, this, like, I don't want to say it's weird, but I mean, it is a little bit of manual. Type out the entire individual dates that you passed on. So you can prep all this information, have it completely ready to go. So just type them out exactly as they show, 324, 325, etc. Obviously, it only your market days. Now, up to you if you trade like in the evening session and the morning session. I would suggest just use the date from when the market is closing. So for me, the market closes at 1 p.m. or whatever, 1:15, whatever it is, every day. That's the date I'm actually going to count as the, in quotes, trading day. So attach a screenshot of your account balance from LeeLoo Trader. So open up Rhythmic, go to one of the screens that shows your well, it says your dashboard, so I would just play along, like do specifically what they say. Go to your dashboard. It has your account number there. It has your account balance. Take a screenshot, include it in the email, and then attach this completed questionnaire. This is also something you can do in advance, and I suggest you do. It doesn't take that long to fill out, but it probably takes anywhere from half an hour to an hour, depending on how thorough you want to be. I have mine ready to go. It's simple questions. It's just like, what are your goals? What's your general trading strategy? How do you prevent risk? Are you all in, all out, or do you scale in, scale out, etc.? So they're just trying to get a better feel for how you trade. And that's it. So you can have all this stuff ready, and then what you will do is, like it says, go to your support portal, log in, and submit all this information the day after you pass. Now, it says here you can read more information about submitting your evaluation there. We can take a look at it, but it's pretty much the exact same stuff that I just kind of went through. Now, so within 48 hours, you will get an email that basically says, I mean, they don't clearly have it written here. I will admit they're not always the clearest with their instructions or information. Like, it's not horrible, but it's not like dead on, I would say. So anyways, within 48 hours, you're going to get an email saying, okay, choose your performance account, and then they're going to send you a letter you need to fill out called proprietary letter. I mean, I haven't seen one before because I haven't passed LeeLoo before, but I assume it's much like the trader agreement, like you fill out with some of the other firms as well. You'd probably be providing them with your banking information so they know where to pay you. You do have to pay for data every month with them, so you probably have to give a card, I'm going to assume, that they can charge the data fee to. Currently, right now, as I'm recording this, your first month is half off. So normally it's $88 a month, I want to say. It's currently half off your first month, and that's actually changing in April. I received a different email today from LeeLoo, just saying that starting in April 1st, they're just going to charge $88 uh, for every single month. You don't get a discount your first month, and that provides you data to all the markets you want to trade. So it is still cheaper than say a TopStep or an Earn to Trade, where you have to pay, like, usually it's about 100 or 115 per market. So if you want to trade crude oil and the bonds like I do, those are technically two different markets. I would have to pay data twice with some of those other firms. LeeLoo, I'll just pay the $88 a month. So what you can expect, get your performance, choose your performance account. So you should review those as well, what your options are. Sign your proprietary letter, read through it. Any information you have to fill out in that, I mean, we'll go through that when it happens, if I'm allowed to. It depends on what the non-disclosure part of it looks like. And then you will send that to them, and then you go from there, basically. They'll send you a congratulations email and whatnot. That is basically it. So as far as submitting your evaluation, we can look at it. This is right from their facts. I'll put a link down below. You can click from that email as well. It's a lot of the same. You trade a minimum of 10 days. Now, if you're in the LeeLoo Express, you only have 10 days to trade. This applies to all their various accounts that they have, so that's why it might be seen a little bit generalized. Here's the thing where it says wait at least 8 hours after the market closes. So you technically could, so for me, for example, the markets close at, what I say, 1 p.m., or I think they honestly technically don't close till 2 p.m. So if I waited till about 10 p.m., 11 p.m., I might just wait till the next morning and fire this information off. Here's all the same information we just read about. Don't cancel your account. Again, this is a general statement, because if you were in an account that has like the monthly rebill, you would stop paying the monthly fee. LeeLoo Express, though, there's no rebills anyway, so there's nothing for you to cancel, so don't worry about that. It can take up to 24 hours to confirm your qualifications and up to 72 hours to receive your paid performance account. So once they receive your letter. So basically, you fire off your information. Within a day, you should get your proprietary letter stuff. You send that back to them, and then within 3 days, you have your funded account, essentially, is where you go from there. Let's see. So here's where you get to choose the type of accounts. Now, I covered these a little bit more in depth. I made a super long video about LeeLoo about a month ago. I'll put a link to that below as well. That video is about an hour, but there's timestamps in it. So just go down to the list of timestamps and skip to the part where I talk about performance account or paid account options, and you can read the more detailed information. Yeah, it's more than I kind of want to get into in this video. I mean, I want to touch on them, but it's like definitely getting into the weeds. There's pros and cons to each. I'm personally going with the Accelerator. I'll leave it at that. You do have to scale in with this one, but you have the ability to, once you get to your full contract size and you stay there for, I think it's 60 days, you can actually grow. So for example, 12 contracts is the max with the 100K account. You work your way up through the scaling plan to get to 12 contracts. If you're still doing great, after 60 days, you could request to actually be bumped up even further. And actually, I take that back. You don't have to request, well, you do have to request it, but they have an additional scaling plan beyond that. Like, you can look at the limits and see where you can go with it. So the investor account, you can't do that. You get your full clip right away. You would get the 12 contracts from day one, but 12 contracts is the most you will ever have. You will always only have 12 contracts, and I'd rather have the room to grow. There's also withdrawal things with this, the minimum and maximum. I would look into those. I would say the max withdrawals for the first 4 months are very small. And that's really what turns me off to this. Like, you're looking at a third of a year before you can really do a nice withdrawal. So the goal of this, guys, in the end is to actually make money trading. So I kind of want to have access to the funds that I make. As it is, they only do withdrawals once a month, regardless of the account type. So, and it's at the end of the month. So even like myself and some of you, if you're passing at the beginning of March, hopefully this isn't a bummer for anyone. You have to trade at least 30 calendar days before you can request your first withdrawal. So we're looking at the beginning of April at that point, before you can do your first withdrawal. Or sorry, before you're looking at the beginning of April before you kind of qualify and you pass those first 30 days. And then they only process withdrawals at the end of the month. I think it's the last Tuesday and Wednesday of the month. So honestly, end of April is the soonest anyone's withdrawing money from their Accelerator account. The investor's even more strict in terms of the time and the amounts. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. You guys can come here again. The link's down below. Come to this page. You can read all about these. Let's see, the $88 fee, know that. I mean, it still reflects the fact that your first month is half off. I believe that's what it says there, and it should still be for us because I believe it's April 1st that this change takes place that I mentioned earlier. So they have other you can compare them to the competitors. I mean, this is all very valid information. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. So there's a little bit of information about what you need to do when you pass, what to expect in terms of timing. But honestly, probably by the end of the coming week, we should be, assuming everything goes according to their schedule, looking at funded accounts by Friday. Anyone that started on the same day as myself, that is, I should really say, uh, should be passing on Tuesday. Wednesday should have your proprietary letter, fill it out as fast as you can, send it back to them. They said that it can take up to 3 days. So hopefully, I mean, if you get it on Wednesday, you send it back on Wednesday. Hopefully by Friday, you get a funded account. At worst, it's Monday. It's not the end of the world if we don't get them till Monday. And then, hey, hopefully some of us get to experience what it's like to be funded with LeeLoo together. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And depending on what that letter says, I'm happy to do updates on how the funded account is going if I'm allowed to. With OneUp, it's very clear that I'm not allowed to update anything. Like I can't talk about it whatsoever, which is unfortunate. I think it also explains a little bit why you don't find much information online about funded accounts because you're legitimately in a non-disclosure agreement where you're not allowed to talk about it. So I'm going to guess it's probably a similar situation, but whatever I am allowed to talk about, I certainly will because that's kind of why I started the channel. I wanted to walk people through the process of getting funded and then show them, what it's like to be funded and what that process is and do withdrawals and all of that. So, all right, guys, I will see you in the next video.